It's roommate versus roommate, with comedian Paul Laier facing off against his buddy writer Andrew Duvall in 20 questions on two of their favorite directors, Wes Anderson and Christopher Nolan. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be? And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds, and this is my weekly trivia show. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for finding it on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, or maybe you heard about it from a friend. We've been putting out this show every single week for 79 episodes, and there are so many great titled episodes you should go back and check out if it's your first time listening. This is a great episode we have for you today. We have my friend Paul Laier, my friend Andrew Duvall on the show, talking about their favorite directors, Christopher Nolan and Wes Anderson. We talk about the 5 topics that they are into otherwise, and then we dive into some trivia based on those directors. So if you like those directors, if you like films by those guys, you will love today's episode. And after you listen to this one, go rate, review, and subscribe to the show. We put it out every single Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, so I'm so glad you decided to check it out. I wanted to kick things off this week with a fun trivia question, totally random. I thought of it today. I write my trivia questions for my live events in Southern California every single week, and this one popped in my head. I thought I'd share it with the listeners today. I'm looking for the 5 actors on Saturday Night Live who appeared in the More Cowbell sketch, along with special guest Christopher Walken. Everybody likes that More Cowbell sketch, and I thought it would be fun for you, the listener, to think of those 5 actors. They are all male, no females in this sketch, so try and figure that out. We'll give you the answer at the end of the episode. Before we get into our interview and contest with Paul and Andrew, I wanted to tell you I saw The Shape of Water the other day with me and the wife. That was our first post-second baby date, and we had a great time. It was a really good movie. Highly recommend it. It is visually stunning. Really, really well done. If you like Guillermo del Toro, you will absolutely love it. One of our other favorite movies we saw in college on a date was Pan's Labyrinth. So this was probably, I think, his best since that one, in my opinion. So check that out. Some quick pop culture news. If you like this show, you will probably appreciate things like this. There's a Mighty Ducks TV series in the works. Holy cow. I don't know anything about it except that it is a TV series in the works, so you can read more about that on Trivia with Buds, the Facebook page, where I shared the article. There's also a new Clue movie in the works from the writers of Deadpool and hopefully starring Ryan Reynolds. So I like all 3 of those things, Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, and Clue. I think that'll be awesome. And again, you can check out Trivia with Buds, the Facebook page, facebook.com/Trivia with Buds, or just search it in the bar, and you can read those stories. I get a lot of my news stories from past guest Casey O'Connor. He is a great mind in the world of pop culture. You can find him on Instagram, Pop Culture Casey, and he's always posting like the stuff that I always want to read about. So check him out. And I wanted to share this with you. We have a quick interview with my new friend, Jim Sabo, and he was a contestant on a game show, and the game show is called Russian Roulette. So I thought we could dive into that right now, and you can listen to what went into him getting on that show. This was a show where if you got the questions wrong, you would fall through the floor possibly in a Russian roulette style situation, like the floor would rotate, and he's a real tall guy. So here's a quick mini interview with Jim Sabo. I'm here at Lincoln Hops in Sunland, Tahunga, California, and we just got done doing some Star Wars trivia, and my friend here, Jim, has been on a game show called Russian Roulette. Jim, how's it going, man?
It's going great.
You were a team of 1 tonight, and you came in 3rd place by just a few points. How do you feel about your performance?
I feel good about my performance and bitter about the lack of questions about Star Wars that caused me to lose.
Oh, my God. When you say lack of Star Wars, specifically the first Star Wars movie, The New Hope?
No, I would say asking me what albums Donald Glover put out in the last 5 years.
That's my way of mixing in all of pop culture, the Donald Glover rap album questions. You're not a big rap guy.
Neither is anyone else in Sunland, Tahunga.
Except that one team did get 2.
Well, they got lucky.
They got lucky, and Jim's going to follow them home and cut their tires. Jim, you were on a show called Russian Roulette hosted by Mark Wahlberg, not Marky Mark Wahlberg, but the game show Mark Wahlberg. Tell me about the experience about 15 years ago of getting on a game show where you have the potential to fall through the floor for missing a trivia question.
It was actually really good timing because I was just laid off from my job, so the potential to win $100,000 was like, well, who needs a job? And when I wound up going through, it was sort of like the second to last show that taped that day, so I've been sitting around in the green room reading, and I was nervous as hell. And then when I finally got out there, it was super fun, and I wound up actually beating everyone and making it to the final round, and was really bummed that my brain fed me an incorrect answer to a question that I knew, and I wound up falling through the floor.
Oh, my God. What is that like, falling through the floor? I always wondered, is there a ton of padding? Is it a long fall? What's it like?
It's actually a really short fall, and they had all of us fall beforehand, so we knew what it was. I guess they had someone who, when he fell, he just stiffened up. And you only fell about 3 feet, so he was completely halfway through the stage.
Oh, my God.
And they had to do it like 4 times before he would finally collapse and make it look like he disappeared, and they could get a usable take.
And you're a tall guy. How tall are you?
About 6'10".
6'10", man. So they probably, they had to give you special instruction, or was it fine?
No, I knew what the whole deal was, so I just, collapsed down at the bottom.
What part of L.A. did this film in?
I don't remember. This was a while ago. I have no idea.
Jim falling through floors and falling for Trivia with Buds at Lincoln Hops in Sunland, Sahunga. There's your police escort, Jim. I think you got to get going.
I better get out of here.
Cheers, man.
Thanks.
All right, we're back. That was a quick chat with Jim. He's a player over at Lincoln Hops. We do that every Tuesday night, 8 to 10 p.m. in Sunland, California, just north of Burbank. If you're looking for something fun to do on a Tuesday night. If you want to see all my other live trivia locations, go to triviawithbuds.com, click on the locations tab, and you can see where I'm at about 10 different places every single week, and that list is growing. And I'm also doing a ton of special events, private parties, office happy hours. So if anything like that kind of floats your boat or you got something coming up, think about having some live trivia in Southern California or anywhere. I'll fly to you. We'll get a bike. We'll get an Uber there. It'll be great. And we are going to dive in today's episode. And if you like this show, we're going to be putting out some bonus episodes every single day this week, all the way up until next Tuesday. They're going to be mini, like 10, 15-minute episodes where I just ask a few questions from my live trivia nights with different themes. So look for those mini themed bonus episodes every day this week to wet your whistle until next Tuesday. We're going to dive into this episode right now. It's Paul Laier, it's Andrew Duvall, it's Wes Anderson, it's Christopher Nolan. Here we go. Sitting here in beautiful Sherman Oaks, California, not to be confused with Studio City, which is right next door, which is where I thought I was. I put it in my GPS as Studio City, and maybe that's why it took me longer to get here.
Yeah, perhaps.
That's the voice of Paul Laier. Paul, you were on episode 28 of the show doing some Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson trivia and some Disney Channel trivia.
Yeah, I recall that, and I remember being victorious.
You were victorious, and maybe you will be victorious again today against Andrew Duvall. What's up, Andrew?
Nothing much. How's it going?
Thanks so much for joining me. You guys live here. We're at your what I'm going to call a drug den.
Yeah.
I went to use a pen, and you're like, that's actually a vape pen. I'm like, oh, there's no ink? And you're like, not smokable ink. Yeah.
You know, when I moved in with all these guys, none of them smoked.
Really?
Yeah. Now I'm the only one who doesn't.
Sure. This should be a reality show. I love it. You hang up a couple doors, you make a new room. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I love it. You've lived here. I've been to a lot of wrestling events here. We've watched a lot of pay-per-views and things. The Royal Rumble's coming up. Who's your pick this year for the Royal Rumble?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, that's what I've been hearing.
Asuka. Same.
And Asuka, same thing?
Yeah.
2 Asian winners. That would be amazing, right? Has there ever been an Asian Royal Rumble winner? No, right?
No.
So 2 would be amazing.
I don't think there's ever been an Asian WWE champion.
Oh, that's a good point, too.
That.
And who do you think, if they decide to shit the bed and not do that, who do you think?
Randy Orton.
I was going to say Sheamus.
I was going to say Roman Reigns.
Sheamus and Paige. That'll be interesting. Yeah, Roman Reigns again. Oh, boy. I am going to be watching that out in Santa Clarita, California this Sunday. Is it this Sunday?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, man. And tonight, the day that we're recording this, is the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm,
there should be fun surprises. I'm hijacking my mom's Xfinity account account to watch the live stream of that on that app while we're at my son's 2-month doctor checkup appointment. That seems like a good fatherly thing to do, right?
Exactly.
That'd be a good time. I got my whole day planned out.
It sounds like you have to be paying a lot of attention, but is that not the case with
No,
infant
they throw a couple shots, he cries, and we get out of there. That's it. That's how it goes. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today. You gave me some amazing categories, but let's talk about a little bit of how we all know each other. Paul, I've said it before, you're probably my first, one of my first comedy/wrestling buddies. Actually, probably my first comedy buddy. One of the early ones when I moved here in 2012. You came here a little bit earlier than that, right?
Yeah, I came here at the tail end of 2011.
And you're from Florida.
Mm-hmm, Miami, Florida.
And we hit it off because we started talking about wrestling at an open mic, probably at Jake's or something like that, in a basement.
Flappers, actually.
Flappers. Ooh, very good. We were both trying to get on that big show. The Uncle Clyde's Comedy Bash or something?
Well, I remember that you had just won.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Clyde's
Okay.
because there was another guy at that open mic who recognized you, and he basically accused you of being a ringer.
Oh, is that what he said? He's like, I brought all my friends and family?
No, because I think didn't they do something like they introduced you as being on Tosh.0?
Oh, yeah. Maybe
Even
that was
though it was
probably
like...
and I was a production assistant.
Yeah, exactly. So the guy, when you had that credit, I remember he came up to you. He was drunk, but you had beaten his friend, and he was just airing his grievances. I just think it's fucked up that you pros go into these amateur contests.
Oh, yeah. That sounds about right.
Win them.
Sure. And I am very professional, as you can tell. I think I won a basket of fries for that contest at some point, so it's very professional. But that was a good time. We hit it off, talked about wrestling, and then I would see you at a lot of open mics, and we've been good friends ever since. Yeah. Andrew, I met you probably through Paul watching wrestling here at this very apartment. And you have lived here. How long have you guys lived in this apartment? 4 years?
Around 4. It's the longest I've ever been in one apartment my whole entire life.
Yeah. And you both have been on the SyFy channel.
Yeah. We're a couple of SyFy buddies. A couple of SyFy pros, as I would say. Andrew, you were on a show called Fangasm.
Oh, yeah.
Where you would ejaculate onto comic books. Is that what it is?
It's a great name for a show, isn't it?
And it was a show where they would highlight people that were just obsessed with certain types of pop culture.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was probably the worst month and a half of my life.
Oh my gosh. And they got you on this show and they said you're going to be obsessed with what?
Well, they were asking me what I liked. I'm like, I like Iron Maiden. They're like, something else, and they're like, I'm like, I like Star Trek. They're like, okay, Star Trek then. I'm like, all right, we'll go with Star Trek. But the thing about Star Trek is I don't know things. Like if someone's like, when is Kirk's birthday? I'm like, I don't know.
I hate it when people get into that very specific type of trivia.
I don't know his birthday. I don't even know what the T stands for in his name. You know,
it's Captain the Kirk, James the Kirk. I have the same thing. I actually have to dive into very specific questions when I do something like a Harry Potter trivia night.
That makes
because
sense.
The people that come are so diehard. They're like, yeah, we know Harry Potter's birthday, but we need his horoscope, something very specific. I've had people come up to me that are dressed head to toe in Harry Potter stuff. This was way too easy, and I'm like, oh
really?
No, yeah. So, but that's that's a very specific type event. Usually general trivia, you want to have in a round of 10 questions, I have 3 easy, 3 medium, 3 hard kind of a thing, just to kind of appeal to hopefully everybody.
Well, yeah, because if people are putting up goose eggs, they're going to be like, this isn't fun.
Yeah. You don't want to, and that's what I found with other local trivia companies, like King Trivia out here, which is about 120 locations from what I've last counted around Southern California. A lot of their stuff is super academic, and you might have a round about British royalty or Bible characters, and it's people don't, for the most part, from what I found, especially at breweries and things, don't want to be what was that Bible character? They want to be what was that Thor movie called, or whatever. They want it to be a little bit more pop culture-y, and that's the number one compliment I get is people are like, oh, I love how your stuff is the fun stuff to think about, not the weird stuff to recall for some reason. So that's what I bank on, and I am a millionaire, so I think I'm doing the right things. You guys are good buddies. How do you guys know each other? Just from comedy scene out here?
No,
Florida.
We met in Florida.
Oh, are you from Florida, Andrew?
I'm not from, but I lived there.
Where's your accent from?
Oh, my accent's a mixture of everything.
A lot of things?
It's like South Georgian, it's part Canadian, it's some Italian in it.
Sure, I like that. That's a nice little melting pot of noises coming out of your face.
Yeah.
That's very good.
I'm sure I have LA in me now, too.
Sure. Well, you have those fake tits on right now.
Yeah.
We just talked about, people can't see that, but Andrew has giant fake tits.
Yeah, you have to do that once you move out here.
Right? We all have them.
Yeah.
That's how we get it.
We got once you register your vehicle, they schedule you for surgery.
Yeah. Paul, do people say you have a Florida accent?
I do hear that, and I never. It's one of those things where it's like, to me, I sound normal.
Sure.
But then people are like, "Where's your accent?" I remember like it was when I was in college, my teacher and my math teacher was just like, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
And I told her Miami, and then she looked at me like I was lying.
WTF?
Yeah.
Paul, we're going to get into your categories right now. Here's the 5 things you gave me. These are different from the last episode you were on, which I thought was awesome. So we'll dive into those categories, and then Andrew will jump into yours, and then I'll reveal which category I chose for each of you on today's podcast challenge. It's like wrestling challenge. Yeah. Here we go. Your first topic, Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah, when I think about directors and their catalog, Wes Anderson is someone who I know I've seen all of his movies.
There you go. And I walked in and you got Fantastic Mr. Fox on Blu-ray sitting right on top of the TV, almost like you've been studying since we talked last night and you gave me these categories.
Yeah. Well, it's just like there's a lot of like directors I'm like fans of, but some of them are like, they precede like my birth, and so they just have such like a big catalog that I haven't gotten around to them.
Sure.
But with Wes Anderson, I know he like started like, what was it, like 99 or 2000 or so? I know.
Yeah, 96 I think was the first one.
Yeah. Well, either way, like Bottle Rocket came out in my lifetime.
Sure, of
so
course.
it was easy to like. So when I first saw Rushmore, I was just like, oh, he has other movies. There was only like 2, so I didn't have to like.
Yeah. And a lot of people should know this. Wes Anderson lives in this apartment with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's an old-timey bicycle parked outside, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Wes's. That's got to be Wes's. Your next category, the NWO. Now, this is not the international New World Order as in history,
right.
but the New World Order according to WCW nostalgia.
Yes. Once again, that's another thing where as I was getting into wrestling, it was just before the NWO became a thing in WCW, and I remember watching that run. So, when I was thinking about, I want to say a wrestling thing. What's a specific wrestling thing?
I love it.
And the NWO's got like enough of a history that I know.
Love it. That's perfect. And it was funny. I was reading these as I was going to sleep last night, and I had a dream that I was live to watch Sting beat Hogan for the title at Starrcade. Was it 97?
Yeah, I think so.
And that's a fun moment in my head, and I was replaying it like I was there front row, which was really cool. It was a really cool dream. I don't usually have like wrestling front row dreams. Usually I'm still like in the nosebleed section, but I'm there. So that was pretty fun to read last night. Your next category, near and dear to my heart, I've seen him live the most times of any band, Blink-182.
Yeah, they were my favorite band. Definitely going through like middle and high school.
Yeah,
and that's a band that also has like a good history to it. So I feel like I know not just the music, but I do know about the things behind the music with that band.
I like when I have people on the podcast twice, because you're going through why you pick these things. Most of the time I go, so what do you like about marine biology? And somebody's like, I don't know. I just had a coloring book one time. And they're like, okay, great. But yeah, you're really giving some good backstory here. Blink-182. I used to love them so much I would buy like their unauthorized, like people would make like documentary VHS tapes that you could buy at like Hot Topic and stuff, and I'd be like, and it'd be like, Tom likes Dr. Pepper, or whatever. I'm like, whoa, this is good information. I used to love Blink-182, and I had a Columbia house. When I got to the age where I had a little bit of money, so probably 14, 15, I was like, 12 CDs for a penny? I gotta do this. So the first one I got was Dude Ranch by Blink-182.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
Came in the mail. I used to go to sleep to it every night. And I shared a room with my brother, who would also go to sleep to a different album. So we battled with albums. His was all U2 because he was 12 years older than me. So it'd be like the Joshua Tree and Dude Ranch simultaneously playing for us to both go to sleep.
I want to hear that mashup.
Oh, yeah, right? Still haven't found what I'm Dick Lips. All right. This is your next category. Philip K. Dick. Speaking of Dick. Yeah. Philip K. Dick. I honestly don't think I know who Philip K. Dick is. He's a sci-fi author?
He is a sci-fi author.
That was a guess.
You would know him more for the movies.
Sure.
You would know more of the movies that his stuff is. No, that's Isaac Asimov.
See, I bet those guys are related.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Okay, very good. Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, my dad was a Philip K. Dick man, and he really pushed those books onto me.
My father was also a Dick man. The what was the Do Androids Dream and Something Sleep?
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That is the book that Blade Runner was adapted from.
That's it. Okay, so I do know that. So Philip K. Dick. I love the new Blade Runner.
Yeah,
I saw the original maybe when Netflix first came out rental-wise in the mail with the discs. I rented Purple Rain, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Blade Runner, 3 movies that I had heard a lot about but never seen. I think I hated all 3 of them. and then I like sat down and I'm like, I think I maybe want to watch Purple Rain again. And then Purple Rain's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's great.
Love Purple Rain. I still hate Rocky Horror Picture Show, and people go, you got to see it at midnight. And I go, I think that would make it worse for me. And Blade Runner, I was like, oh, that was good, but I didn't love it as slow. People do. But I did really enjoy the new one. Yeah. But this was also probably 10 years ago, so maybe I needed to be 30 or something, or 32.
Yeah, I would say, because when I saw first Blade Runner, I was like a teenager, and it moves really slow for a teenager. But when you learn more about film and what makes a movie great.
Exactly, yeah. I think maybe it took 10 more years of seeing other good movies to go oh, this is phenomenal. I really loved, I was just thinking the other day of Blade Runner 2049 when they go to Harrison Ford where he's living, which is supposed to be Vegas-y, right?
Yeah, he's living in basically an entire casino resort.
Yeah, I just love those the holograms of Elvis and things playing. I'm like, man, that would be so interesting if that was what was coming up in the future. And then Shape of Water was very neo-futuristic in a way, even though it was supposed to be 60s, right? 60s.
Yeah, because that was when racism was at a high point.
Yeah, for sure. But those kinds, it was that movie I really felt was like a BioShock type movie of the video game BioShock. I kept thinking of Shape of Water as like a BioShock, and I kept wondering, I'm like, is this going to be a movie that is taking place in the actual 1960s, or is it a BioShocky futuristic, semi-futuristic thing? I didn't know what was going to happen, but loved that movie as well. And your next topic was the year 2006.
Yes.
That was a year before I met my wife. What were you doing in 2006?
Graduating high school.
Yeah. MySpace, jumping on there?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I just, I have this belief that when you make that transition from graduating high school and starting college, you tend to retain a lot.
I agree with you, because I would say 04 is when I graduated, but 05 I would say just so many things happened in my life I could remember the most stuff, probably movies and songs and things like that.
Yeah, well, you can map it because it's you're just well, I know what I was doing in 2006, and so you kind of have more of a map in your mind about what was also going on at that time.
I did a trivia party at a girl named Rita's house in Redondo Beach for her birthday on Saturday night, and one of her topics she wanted to do was something music related. So she gave me a bunch of artists she liked, and I played all these singles, and you had to guess the year the song came out. But you could be the year exactly, one above or one higher. Okay, so as long as you got within 3 years, basically. And the final question was, what year did the song? It was a 2-point question, so you had to get the exact year, and it was, what year did Humps by Black Eyed Peas come out, which is the number one song of my college years that I just, every time I think of that, I'm in a bar drinking a pitcher of beer for $1.50 at Western Illinois University, and it was 2005. So I do remember that quite a bit. Do you have any songs like that, Andrew?
Just mostly Iron Maiden.
There it is. Fangasm. Iron Maiden edition. They're bringing it back. Andrew, what a great time to chime in, because it's time for your categories, and your first one was Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. I'm kind of obsessed with Iron Maiden.
Sure.
I have to warn people about it. I'll go on dates. I'm like, hey, if I start talking about Iron Maiden, just stop me, because I'll go on for hours.
I almost know nothing about Iron Maiden. Number of the Beast?
Yeah.
Okay.
I took Paul on a mandate to an Iron Maiden concert last summer.
How did it go?
It was great.
I think I saw your post about it.
I documented that entire day.
I can tell you, this is what I know about Iron Maiden. My friend in the band Wheatus has 2 tickets to see them.
Oh.
Do you remember that song?
Current? No. I see what you're saying.
I've got 2 tickets to Iron Maiden. What was that? Teenage Dirtbag. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Where
Come With Me Friday.
Come With Me Friday. Don't say maybe.
If you were that teenage dirtbag and a girl at prom told you she had 2 tickets to Iron Maiden,
I would be in love with it.
Right? The story of that song is made for Andrew. It's great. You should listen to it. But not more than once. Your next category is baseball, which I think, Paul, last time you were on, it might have been baseball. Or maybe it was the Marlins.
I said Specifically the Marlins.
There you go. The baseball, you're a big baseball guy. You follow around a certain team?
Toronto Blue Jays.
Toronto Blue Jays, which is not where you're from.
Yeah.
You've never lived in Toronto, have you?
Yeah, I'm born in Toronto.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I thought you said Georgia earlier.
I mean, I lived in Georgia. My whole life is weird.
You know what I did? I assumed. That's what I did. So you're from Toronto.
Yeah, originally.
Very good. So that's a little bit more accent. You got some Canadian there.
Yeah, there's Canadian, there's South Georgian, there's Italian.
Yeah, there you go. How's the pizza in Canada?
That's good.
Is it not bad?
Yeah. In Toronto, there's like a really great little Italy.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Do they put Blue Jay, the actual birds, on the pizza? You ever try that?
I don't know. That would be weird.
You think anybody eats Blue Jays? Probably some weirdo.
No way.
One person in the world has to eat Blue Jays.
Maple leaves?
Oh. They should have a maple leaf pizza, but the leaf's made of something edible.
Like
and there's
basil.
syrup on it. I don't actually say syrup, but I thought it was fun to say that. I say syrup because I'm not an asshole. You know what I mean?
What about scissor?
Scissorp? That'd be kind of good. What is scissorp? Is that considered
that's
any
like-
kind of alcohol?
That's like purple drink.
Purple drank? Oh, man, we're getting into some weird territory. Blame Canada. Here is your next category, Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah, I love Christopher Nolan movies.
Do you love him, do you think, as much as Paul loves Wes Anderson?
Oh, I don't know. Oh. I mean,
Seen the entire Nolan catalog?
the only one I haven't seen was his very, very first movie.
What was that called? Followers?
Yeah.
Following?
Yes.
Following?
The other ones I've seen multiple times.
Interesting. This could be a good showdown. All right. So what do you think your favorite Christopher Nolan movie of all time is?
Probably The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, which is the sequel to Batman Begins and the predecessor of The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Dark Knight Rises and thinking, there's a lot of stuff in this movie. There's like almost too much stuff.
There's a
There
lot.
is.
Yeah.
Dark Knight is the perfect amount of stuff. And Dark Knight, we saw, midnight screening, and then 5 minutes into the movie, everything shut down in the theater. It was like, boo! And everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, people were losing their minds. And I had to leave because I had to work the next day. So me and Ashley, who I think we weren't even married at the time, we had just met 2006, right? No, 2008? What was Dark Knight? Dark Knight was 2008, though.
Yes,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So we weren't even engaged yet, and so we went home, and my friends were like, "Yeah, they didn't start till 4 a.m. But they stayed from 12. Let's say it was 12:30. It started for the midnight showing. They didn't start till 4, but all the people stayed there, and then we got free tickets to come back the next day. We saw it at like noon the next day or something. It was crazy. But yeah, Dark Knight, probably one of the best of all time. Not even just Christopher Nolan. Your next topic, World War II.
Yeah, I'm a big World War II buff.
Sure. Pro-Nazi or...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Which side?
Yeah, which side? Which side are you? Are you one of those guys that reads a lot of World War II books, things like that?
Yeah, I catch myself watching documentaries all the time about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The World War II docs. Do you have a favorite World War II movie besides the obvious Schindler's List?
Oh, probably Saving Private Ryan would be my favorite World War II.
That's probably a good alternate there. Probably. What do you think? That's probably a more fun movie to watch, right?
Yeah. Schindler's List is kind of sad.
Are there any like fun World War II movies? Probably not. No. The Emoji Movie, though, the Emoji Movie is probably a fun movie if you're looking for something
We
alternate.
actually watched that.
We had to watch that one.
Did you watch it recently?
Yeah, we
Yes.
did a bad movie marathon.
Oh my God! How was it? Is it as bad as
bad.
people say? Yeah.
It was really
Let me tell
bad.
you, there's like a point in the movie
Sure.
where someone summons the Twitter logo
Oh my
to
God!
fly to swoop in so that they can write it to save the day.
Yeah, it was bad. There was a lot of questioning why we were doing this.
There's a whole scene where they play Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Really? Just in the movie.
Yeah.
Animated Candy Crush. All right. We'll have to check it out. Your next one and last topic, Michael Crichton and Stephen King books.
Yeah.
A lot of fiction, you said, and specifically those two authors. Do you have a favorite of each of those?
The Stand by Stephen King,
Yeah.
and then Timeline, which is my all-time favorite book.
Yeah.
By Michael Crichton.
Have they ever done one of those things where they team up for something? You know how some authors do that sometimes?
I don't think they ever teamed up. Michael Crichton's dead now, so
Would you have what they call a fangasm if they ever teamed up?
I would have. Yeah. What a bad name for a show.
You should use it in your vernacular. You should brand it. They're not using it.
Here's what I would do. I would literally take the exact idea for the show, put it out as a YouTube show, but put the S into a Z. So it's Fangasm.
Yeah.
Can't do anything there. All right. Now that we got all 10 categories that are up in the air for each of you guys, I'm going to reveal which category I chose for each of you guys. Ready?
Yes.
Paul, your topic is Wes Anderson movies.
Okay.
And Andrew, your topic is... Christopher Nolan movies. Director versus director. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we got to come up with a buzz-in word for you guys. What's a 1 or 2 syllable word between the two of you? Maybe vape pen. That would be a fun buzz-in word that you have to wait for the whole question to be read, and you'll buzz in with this word.
We both like baseball. I think baseball is a good word.
Baseball. Love it. The buzz-in is baseball, and we will be going back and forth with some baseball, not baseball-related trivia. Some Wes Anderson and Christopher Nolan trivia. We're going to start with Paul's category. You get 1 point when you get your topic right, your topic's question right, and you get 2 points if you can steal the other guys before they can answer or after they miss it. And you only get 1 chance to answer each question. Any questions from you guys?
So if you ask his question, I can... Baseball.
As soon as the question's done being read, you can buzz in before him or, after him if he misses it, that kind of thing.
You got to say baseball.
Say baseball.
All right.
And we're going to start with Wes Anderson. So, Paul, if he got this first question right, would get 1 point. Andrew, you get 2 points if you stole it from him. And then we'll move on to Christopher Nolan, and we'll go back and forth like that. Okay?
Cool.
So this is round number 1. This is the Trivia Showdown.
Trivia Showdown.
Okay, here we go. This is question number 1 for Wes Anderson movies. Question 1. Who did the voice of Mrs. Fox in The Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Baseball.
Paul.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep is correct. Andrew, did you have any idea about that one?
No.
1 point off the bat for Paul. I knew she was in it, but I had to look up to see whose voice she did, and I thought that was a fun question instead of the traditional Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
I'll go with Mrs. because me too. This is question number 1 for Christopher Nolan. What was the budget of Inception? Was it $100 million, $160 million, or $220 million?
Baseball.
Paul.
$160 million.
It was 160.
Oh, man.
The middle choice, and that is 2 points for Paul, so it's 3-0.
Paul's too good at movies is the thing.
Andrew
I follow the economics as well.
Andrew is stunned right now. We'll see what happens for this Toronto Blue Jays fan in question number 2 for the Wes Anderson side. Question 2, what year did Rushmore come out? Question 2, what year did
Baseball.
Rushmore come out? That's Paul.
2000?
2000 is incorrect. Andrew, now you get a chance at this one. What year did the movie Rushmore come out from Wes Anderson?
2001.
Incorrect. It was 1998.
Oh, wow.
1998, a couple years earlier. Bottle Rocket, 96. Rushmore, 98.
Gotcha.
So no points there. 3-0. Paul's up 3-0, but Andrew's going to get on the board probably with this question. Let's see if he knows it. Number 2, which member of One Direction appeared in Dunkirk?
Baseball.
Yes.
Harry Styles.
There you go. 1 point. It's not going to be a clunker of a episode. And it's not, I've never had one where nobody scored any points, but it was close. It was actually that marine biology episode with Delaney Fisher and not Jordan Peele, the director. Jordan, no, but I think his name is kind of... what the heck is his name? Do you know a comedian named Jordan with a P?
I'm sure, but
Edit this out. Question number 3 for the Wes Anderson side. Let's see what we got here. How old are the lovers in Moonrise Kingdom? 2 main characters in Moonrise Kingdom that fall in love. How old are they?
baseball?
Supposed to be in the movie, not the actors.
Baseball?
Paul.
12.
12 is correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're both 12 years old. 4-1.
Oh, no.
I love that. I thought that was... I'm not a huge Wes Anderson guy. I think that is my favorite of his.
Yeah.
Moonrise Kingdom, yeah. I like every other movie, it seems like. And I always like visually, I think they're great. But in the long run and how many times I'd watch them and things, I'm always kind of like Grand Budapest Hotel, visually awesome, acting great. Like the story, didn't care for. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, you know? But Rushmore, I think, is great. I don't like Steve Zissou.
I do not either.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, overpraise that movie. But I love the idea of Darjeeling Limited with the train, and like the scenery and stuff is great, but I don't think it's much of a movie. So it's like, that's the thing. It's like but I really loved Moonrise Kingdom, and then what was his last one?
The last one
was the last one Grand Budapest?
That was Grand Budapest. He's got the new one.
That was actually my favorite one of his.
Yeah, and I really liked it to a degree. But yeah, so I'm like 50-50 on his stuff. Do you like everything, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, except Steve Zissou.
Yeah.
I'm not really big of a fan of that movie.
I'm with you. Here's number 3 for Christopher Nolan movies. At $534 million, which Nolan movie had the highest lifetime gross?
Baseball?
Andrew.
Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight is correct, and that is 2 points. So it's 2-4. You got half a Paul's score, but you could jump back if you steal any of his questions in no time. Here's question number 4. This is about Wes Anderson. The 3 actors on the cover of the Darjeeling Limited are Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman, and who else?
Baseball.
Paul.
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody for his 5th point. He's got a big schnoz. Remember using that movie called The Jacket? Was it called The Jacket?
Oh, it was called The Jacket.
Where he would put in a straight jacket and then put into a, what are those called?
What do you go?
Those filing cabinets for bodies.
Yeah, basically.
And then he would time travel.
Yeah, he would time travel.
Such a weird idea for a movie.
But that was because he was in like a psych ward.
Yeah, such a strange movie. But he's a great actor. And here's number 4 for Christopher Nolan. Which Nolan movie features a daughter character named Murphy? Which Nolan movie features a daughter named Murphy? Oh, no. Both are at a loss here.
I'm thinking of the movies.
Andrew and Paul thinking it over. Any guesses?
Baseball. I'll say Interstellar.
Interstellar is correct.
No.
And that is 2 points, so it's 7-2.
This is embarrassing.
Andrew, having a hard time. Did that one pop in your head at all?
I was going to say Inception.
Inception.
Who was the daughter? Where was there a daughter?
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
There was at one point.
Yeah,
What am I thinking of?
Because DiCaprio had the little thing and he twisted it and all he wanted to go was his family.
Or am I
was a
thinking,
thing.
you know what I confuse a lot? Shutter Island and Inception.
Because they're both Leo movies.
He keeps flashing back to family stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Leonardo DiCaprio. All right, here we go. This is number 5 for the other side. This is Wes Anderson movies again. Number 5, about halfway through. In what country was the Grand Budapest Hotel filmed?
Oh.
Filmed?
Filmed. Might be set there, too. I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember. Where was it filmed?
Baseball. Was it
Paul.
Hungary?
Hungary is a good guess, but incorrect. No. Andrew?
Belgium?
Incorrect, but Andrew, I'm going to give you another guess. This is a country based on another topic you're super into. There's no country called Iron Maiden.
England?
No. Germany was the answer I was looking for. Germany.
I was thinking, well.
No points there. Here's question number 5 for Christopher Nolan. Who play the 2 rival magicians in The Prestige?
Oh, baseball.
Andrew.
It's, oh, God, I'm going to forget their names.
Just go for it, man.
It's Wolverine, his name.
Sure. It'd be great if it was just Wolverine. Like they're like, we want you to play Wolverine.
It's Wolverine and Batman.
Yeah.
This is true.
I might accept these answers.
Wolverine's name is, I don't know.
You know his name?
I don't know his name.
What about Batman? You know Batman?
Batman is Christian Bale.
Sure.
Okay.
And Wolverine is Australian actor. Known as Logan,
showman.
Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I mean, I know him.
He was also in The Prestige.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you.
When someone is really muscly, we tend to say that they are looking...
It would almost be like if you robbed somebody, you could jack that man. Yeah, there you go. Hugh Jack. Good job, Andrew. 1 point.
Yeah, good job.
3-7, Paul and Andrew. And here comes the other side. We're on question number 6 for Wes Anderson movies. What kind of shark ate Steve Zuzu's friend Esteban? Kind of shark.
Oh, baseball.
Yes.
A jaguar
A
shark.
jaguar shark. And that is 8 points for Paul. We talked about how we didn't like that, but you still recalled that. Good job, Paul.
I mean...
Here's number 6. How does Ra's al Ghul die at the end of Batman Begins?
Baseball.
Yes.
I believe he gets crushed by a building.
Baseball.
What do you got, Paul?
He is left for dead on board a runaway train.
That was more what I was looking for. I put train. Train crash. So I'm going to give that one to Paul. So that is another 2 points. It's 10-3.
The end of Batman Begins actually bleeds into the beginning of The Commuter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The new Liam Neeson film Commuter. I can't wait. I can't. That looks like a perfect Movie Pass movie, doesn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
It's pretty good?
Yeah. I mean, it's like an action movie, so...
Is it as fun as a Taken type scenario?
Yeah, I liked it.
Love it. I'm going to go see it right after this. Forget that baby doctor appointment. Here's number 7 for Wes Anderson, who wrote the book version of Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Baseball.
Paul.
I don't want to fuck up his name. Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
Yep, that is a mouthful of a name, and that was correct. That's 1 point for Paul. It's 11-3. Andrew, to get you some more points here, I bet you get this one. Number 7, Thomas Lennon from Reno 911 plays a civilian job role in Memento. What was that role he played? So it's like policeman or firefighter, but not either of those.
What was the question?
Thomas Lennon from Reno 911 plays a civilian job role in Memento. What was his role?
Oh, man, I don't know who Thomas Lennon is.
Baseball.
Yes.
A doctor.
He is a doctor.
Damn it.
That's 2 points for Paul, which makes it 13-3.
And, he also plays a doctor in The Dark Knight Rises.
Is he really? Thomas Lennon?
Yeah.
Who's Thomas Lennon?
He's the guy in the short shorts from Reno 911. Comedic actor. He's in a million things. He's written a lot of movies. He wrote all the Night at the Museum movies.
Oh.
All right. Here's number 8. In Bottle Rocket, for Wes Anderson, which character has just been released from a mental hospital? Is it Anthony, Bob, or Dignan? The three main characters? Yes.
I'll say Dignan.
It is incorrect.
Damn.
Andrew?
What were the choices?
Anthony or Bob?
I guess Anthony, right?
It is Anthony. It's 2 points. That's 5 points for Andrew.
Yeah.
Process of elimination. It's a good way to win.
On you, Paul.
Here is number 8. In what Batman movie is Bruce Wayne's back broken?
Ooh, baseball.
Yes.
That's the Dark Knight Rises.
That's right. Dark Knight Rises. What does Bane say? Like, your back's gonna hurt. Snap or something. But it will. Not something, but you will. Something about he says, but you will. I just remember that. He's kind of like a vaudeville character, that voice. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm Bane. Oh, look at me. Hey. All right.
Pay attention to the bearded lady.
He's the greatest showman. All right. Number 9. What country is the upcoming Isle of Dogs set in? Wes Anderson. Isle
Baseball.
of Dogs. Yep.
Japan.
It is Japan, and that is 14 points for Paul, 14-6.
I can still come back, right?
You can still come back. There's a few things left to do. Number 9, who plays a serial killer in the movie Insomnia?
Oh, baseball.
Yep.
That would be Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. He paints their nails. I remember that from the trailer.
It's a great movie.
Very creepy,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
It's one of his best.
I think after he kills them, and then he leaves their bodies somewhere, but they're like in makeup, and it's very creepy. He's a creep. Yeah, it's a great movie. Al Pacino looks so tired in that movie.
He does. He always looks tired.
That's
the gimmick.
Yep, it's Insomnia. He doesn't sleep, Paul. Number 10, who plays Captain Sharp in Moonrise Kingdom? Who plays someone named Captain Sharp? This is the last question for Wes Anderson. Who plays Captain Sharp?
Oh,
The
baseball.
Andrew.
I'm just going to throw it out. Owen Wilson?
Not Owen Wilson, Paul.
Bruce Willis.
It is Bruce Willis for his 15 points. So it's 15.
Don't even think Owen Wilson's in
7.
that movie.
Is he not? He's just in a lot of them.
It's the one he may not be in. Number 10. Here is the last question for Christopher Nolan movies. And the winner, I forgot to tell you guys, gets a dog. How many years has it been since Heath Ledger's death?
Baseball?
Yeah.
It has to be around 10 now.
It is exactly 10.
Oh,
and I read that
wow.
article today on the way here. Not while I was driving, of course. Here is your last point there, Andrew. So it is 8-15, and we have a few things left. So there are 5 points available left in the game. So you unfortunately will not be able to beat Paul, but you can get closer to not...
Even embarrassed.
Yeah, there you go. Very good. That's what I was going to say. And how did you guys think about the first 20 questions? Do you feel like they were all right?
Oh, that was great.
Good mix of stuff there. All right. We're going to jump into a combo question. This is round 2. It's called the combo question.
Combo question.
And this is for 2 points, and it combines both Christopher Nolan and Wes Anderson in some way. Here's that question. You're buzzing in with baseball. Either of you can buzz in at any time as soon as I'm done reading the question. For 2 points, what often used Christopher Nolan movie actor was once considered for the role of Royal Tenenbaum before Wes Anderson went with Gene Hackman? So who is the person that they almost went with
Baseball?
right before Gene Hackman? And this is somebody who's in Christopher Nolan movies. Andrew.
Michael Caine?
Michael Caine is correct.
Oh.
Nice job. 2 points there. And that gives you 10.
Yeah.
So you can get 3 points on this very last thing. And what the hell? Let's make it 5 points. And if Andrew wins this, he gets a nice tie with Paul. And then you guys have to arm wrestle.
All right.
So this will be great.
Still lose then.
Yeah. Still lose. All right, here we go. This is called Categories with Buds.
Categories with buds.
This is round number 3, and we're going to go around in a circle and name these things until we can't think of any more. The last person standing gets 5 points, and I'm going to play with you. If I get the 5 points, I'll award them to somebody, and that will be your dog. Here we go. Here's the category. It's Stephen King books. Whoa, see what I did there? That's kind of fun. Stephen King titles. We're going to go in a circle, and we'll start with Andrew, then Paul, then me, and back and forth. Here we go. Andrew, what's the first book?
In order of the...
No, just any
Stephen King book. Yeah.
I almost had a panic attack.
chronological order.
Oh, my God. What do you got?
The Stand.
The Stand.
Christine.
The Shining.
11/22/63.
1922.
Is that it? Yeah, right? That was a short...
That's a short
story?
Short story.
Should we count it?
Yeah.
We'll count it.
Okay.
Misery.
The Mist.
It.
Tommy Knockers.
Oh, I didn't know even that. I didn't know that one.
Oh, maybe that's not a Stephen King. Is it?
I don't know.
I'll look it up in the meantime. Tommy Knockers. Keep going. You guys keep going. I may be eliminated.
Oh, man. There's so many of them.
Tommy Knockers by Stephen King.
There you go.
It's like a short book with a bunch of short stories in it, and I think it's called The Lost Keys, but God, I don't know if that's
Sounds like a book. There you go, Paul. What do you got?
Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game. I'm going to say The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon.
Ooh. All right.
Andrew, falling apart.
I'm falling apart. I suck.
3 seconds. Anything?
No, I can't think of anything.
No more, Paul?
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot.
Say that.
I'll say Pet Cemetery.
The Cell.
Is that
Was
Stephen
there
King?
one?
That's yeah.
Stephen King on writing. My mom bought it for me when I was 16. He got in a car accident and he wrote it, and it was about his craft.
Dreamcatcher.
I'm out. Paul, you got 5 points. And you are the winner. 20 points for Paul. 10 points for Andrew. That was a good showing. Andrew, you really came back towards the end there. What did you guys think of the whole podcast?
Yeah, that was great.
This was exceptional fun.
Paul, you're the first ever two-time winner. I believe. I think you are. That's pretty good. Yeah, I got to get you a trophy.
Yeah.
And do you guys have anything coming up you want to plug? Andrew, any shows or fun things?
No, I don't really do shows much anymore.
What are you doing these days?
I mostly write.
Writing movies and things?
Yeah.
Very good. What's the genre of the most recent thing you've written?
Oh, I'm the action. Like I really like kung fu movies.
Yeah.
And so I'm writing like you ever heard of Highlander?
Yes, I have.
I'm writing a remake of it, but it sets in Hong Kong with kung fu.
I don't want to discourage you, but from what I've been told, there can only be one. Hey,
Highlander movie.
There we go. That's what they refer to. But then they made like 7, and a USA show that Edge was on.
Oh, that's
I believe
right.
so. Paul, what do you have coming up besides your great show Under the Gun? Where you have
which
comedians.
was recently canceled.
Well, didn't you just do it Saturday?
Yeah, but I got the decision. The email came in on like this past Friday.
Ah, gotcha.
It was like,
Well, it was a fun show. You would have
Thank
comedians improvise based on audience topics and things like that, and you had to go back and write backstage and then come out with your stuff. And it is the scariest thing I've ever done. So every time I do something that's scary, I'm like, this is probably good for me to do. You know what I mean? You just feel,
absolutely.
Because when you're done, you're like, I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I really enjoyed doing that show. I really enjoyed all the sets that people, and you could tell like there were the people who like really threw themselves into it.
And you could take that and do it somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find. I got options maybe at the Pack Theater, maybe at the Clubhouse. I'm gonna talk to them about bringing it back.
Very cool.
But in the meantime, I play on a team called the Voltage over at the Nerdist School. Part of the Sunday night scrunch. Come in the shows start at 7:00. My team goes up in the 9:00 hour, and we have a jam that immediately follows. So you can watch my team, and then you can perform yourself afterwards.
Very good. And by jam, you mean a little bit of Iron Maiden cover bands are going to be there.
Yeah,
Andrew's going to be in there.
All women Iron.
There's actually an all-woman Iron Maiden cover band called the Iron Maidens.
I love it.
Oh yeah, that will be there.
And Paul has a great podcast as well called Saint Anger.
Yes,
where people come and talk about their anger issues. You can find that on iTunes and wherever podcasts are found. Guys, thanks so much for having me in your house, and pass me that vape pen.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Bye. Paul Laier, a 2-time winner on the Trivia with Buds podcast. Great job, buddy. Great job wrestling, buddy. He's really one of my best wrestling pals. And I'll be watching the Royal Rumble this Sunday with one of my other buddies, Mr. Jordan Zeilinger. And Jordan has a great blog you should check out called BS and Craft Beer, Blood, Sweat, and Craft Beer. You can find BS and Craft Beer on Instagram. He's always posting great blogs on all those things, wrestling, beer, all the manly activities in the world. And I will be watching the Royal Rumble Sunday night, but before the Royal Rumble starts, I'll be hosting a thing called Sunday Fun Day Brunch with Buds at Pocock Brewing Company in Santa Clarita, California. I hope you can make it out for our maiden voyage. It'll be the last Sunday of every month. They'll have some food, they'll have all their beers on tap, and I'll be hosting some great games. That's right, we'll be doing some bingo, some movie bingo, some music bingo, and some buzz-in games on your phone like Kahoot. We'll be doing some Jack-in-the-Box party games. We'll be doing Cards Against Humanity style stuff and all kinds of great stuff. So if you like a variety of games, if you like having game nights and you live near Santa Clarita, check it out this Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. at Pocock Brewing Company. It'll be tons of fun. For more info on live shows and special events, go to triviawithbuds.com. And the answer, everybody, to that question we asked earlier, who are the 5 actors that appear in the More Cowbell sketch with Christopher Walken? Here are the 5. Will Ferrell, of course, Will Ferrell. Jimmy Fallon, Horatio Sands, Chris Parnell, and Chris Kattan. You guys want some cookies? That was the Chris Kattan project, Corky Romano. That was from the trailer. But yeah, More Cowbell starred those 5 actors, and they all broke at some point and laughed. And it was a great, great time in Saturday Night Live history. If you like this show, rate, review, and subscribe. Tell a friend, and look for those mini bonus episodes that are all themed, by the way, coming this week, every single day, all the way up until next Tuesday's episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend, and we'll see you next time for more Trivia with Buds. Bye-bye.